speakers. So the first one up is a very dear friend of mine, and he hails from South Carolina. Some of y'all saw him earlier when he came in the room. But, you know, we got to talking, and we discovered that Arkansas and South Carolina have a lot in common. We're both red states with open primaries. We seem to have similar struggles. So this is my friend, Keith Blandford, who is the leader of the America First movement in South Carolina, and the only man in South Carolina with the gumption and dedication to primary Senator Lindsey Graham.
So my name is Keith Blandford, and quickly, my family's been in the South for hundreds of years. My family was present when Lord Cornwallis surrendered Yorktown, Virginia. We have fought in almost every major engagement this country has been in, to include World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Operation Enduring Freedom, and I'm serving now. Serve the United States Navy. It's also in the Army National Guard now. I'm a major in the South Carolina Guard as battalion commander. As a citizen soldier, I work the whole time. I have businesses. I'm a businessman. So I've had to balance all of it together, and it has been hard. I ran in 2010 because I knew what's going on. I had been trained as a nation-state's geopolitical strategist. I've also been trained at the Mises Institute in Austrian economics, and the key to what we're dealing with now is the central banks. Now that's a hard topic. I ran on that in 2010, 2012, 2013, and I can see people's eyes glazing over, but it is the critical path. And I can tell you that Ron Paul was right. He was. So I did that in an effort to bring that conversation to South Carolina and U.S. District 1 for Congress, and I left. And I did not want to go back because it's awful, and you all know it's awful, and how my family has been treated throughout it is awful. And what happened to re-engage me was the masks. They tried to mask me. Right? They tried to mask me in South Carolina, and it re-engaged many people like me to get back involved. So in 2022, I ran for Secretary of State in South Carolina, and we garnered 84,000 votes on $4,000. So we did well, and we learned it. One of the things that we're hearing, I'm a populist candidate. I'm a populist leader in South Carolina. And what you're hearing in South Carolina, good old boy system in South Carolina, is a call for unity, unity, unity. And what that means in my state, that means shut up and sit down and do what we say. Right? And we are an open primary state. South Carolina is not a red state. It is a fake red state. And the regular people sit back and say, hooray, we're Republicans, and they're not going to do anything. But meanwhile, look at our legislative score. We are the most liberal red state in the United States of America. Would you know that about South Carolina? And what is unity then? So as we prepared for the reorg, there is a strategy that can win. And when they say a commander who defends every outpost defends none, that means if we're trying to win the battle everywhere, we're going to win nowhere. So you fight in your backyard. Do you have your backyard? Do you have your precinct? So we engaged in the precinct strategy. We didn't know what we were doing. We worked hard. We role played. We tried everything we could do. And we reached out to Sarah. And in Arkansas, actually helped South Carolina. They were instrumental in helping South Carolina find a way forward to reclaim our precincts. Half of our counties, we came within 16 votes of removing one of the worst rhino GOP chairs in the country. So South Carolina benefited from Arkansas's efforts, and Arkansas can be one of the states leading the way to freedom here in the United States. So I'm not very special. I've got a lot of different backgrounds than we all do, but I can tell you this, I'm a soldier. And I'm doing what you expect me to do. And one thing I'm going to tell you is the bad news. You have to accept the battlefield for what it is. You have to understand where you are. Right? And where are you? You have lost the media. You have lost the movies. You have lost the news. You have lost your elections. You have lost it all. Right? You are now in the place where you're fighting, you're literally surrounded, and that's great, it's where we want to be. What they do is not anything organic, right? So what you're thinking when we hear about the cultural wars is, oh, we're losing so badly, or whatever. This is the same thing that happened in Ukraine, Syria, Libya, Iraq. This is called a color revolution. What you're experiencing is a military precision, the breakdown of a country without firing a shot. And whether you believe it or not is irrelevant. I know exactly what this is because I speak multiple languages for a reason. So what do? They come in, they hijack your press, they take care of your social media. This is what the United States does, folks. What do? We come in, we hijack it. We make the leaders look like idiots and incompetent fools. We start ramping it up as we're going into an election period. What's the next thing we do? Ukraine 2014, what do? Antifa, release them onto the streets, rip down statues, blah, blah, blah. This thing about that, folks, is organic. After we do that, we start attacking the family unit, especially the male. Transgenderism is not natural, it's not normal, it's not cultural, it's military decision. And we all know it. Once we do that, what's the next thing we do? Hugo Chavez, Smartmatic, Venezuela, they developed a system to rig your elections, and our intelligence community bought it. And we have used it around the state, and after Event 201, men like me knew that they were going to use it here. After we put the people in the street, we rigged the election. After we rigged the election, we weaponized the government against the people. Immediately. Then what do? We take away your history. We take away your families. We take away your rights. We take away your borders. Boom. No country. It's over. That's called taking over a country without firing a shot. And that's right where we are. And why is it such in the South, where I'm from? We do not say the United States. We say these United States. That's because it's going to be up to Arkansas and South Carolina to take care of their own. You know, what my family and I are prepared to do is terrifying. And you know, I've been in a lot of bad fights in my life, and what they'll do to me and my family, I'm not looking forward to. I'm just a regular man like any of you. I'm up against $200 million for a person who is willing to do anything to maintain power. The reason why they're holding on to Ukraine is because what they did in Ukraine. And if people find out what they did, they're going to be convicted for the rest of their lives. At least. And so they're going to fight to the last Ukrainian, and people are dying over there. And America has a lot of blood on their hands, and we need to stop it. So what I can say to you is I want you to remember that I have done this since 2010. I have heard, here's how the politician works. They're just fine, right? So here's what they start with. They start with a little anecdote about a family. Oh, my mama said something. Then they throw in a joke, everybody laughs. Then they blame everything that's happening on the opposing political party. Then they end it with God bless America, God bless the troops, and they sit down. And I have done that thousands of times. So what can I say differently? Nothing. What I can tell you is you need to remember. You need to remember that we built this place. Amen. And how did we do it? We did it through God. I know what it's like to live a life of self-will. I know what it's like to live life on my terms. And what happened? I got brought to my knees. And when did my life turn around? When did my life get better? When I surrendered and said, God, help me. And that's where we are, folks. Right now, America is at war. Right? And who is funding this? Who put all this together? It's the CCP with the World Economic Forum as their buddy. They are running the show. And one of the things that you do immediately is you humiliate and break down the military. Has that happened? Yes. So get it out of your mind that this is a cultural war. This is a war. And it's going to take real fighting, real thinking, not just complaining, doing. We are in a spiritual war, good versus evil. You remember that we built all of this. We built all of this. And the politicians who are out there, they work for us, and we will bring them to heel. They will do what we tell them to do, or they are going to be sent packing.
your patriotism. We're so blessed to have you. I want to just make one clarification. When the major was talking about Sarah, it was our Sarah Dunklin that he was referring to. Sarah has been in this fight for a long time, and she has taken some slings and arrows, and we are so proud of her, and what a blessing she is to all of us. So the rabid liberal left has gone after her hard, but she is still standing. She is